What up? What's happening, baby? Welcome into the Winners Lounge, live at the DNVR bar. Something better than an arrow in there. I like that.
That was like that was pretty bad.
Josh Brown, right
That's
off
the
the
new
bat,
record.
$15
That's the new
super
record.
chat. Hey, the vibes are high tonight at the DNVR bar. Nuggets take down the Pacers 113-103. They're now riding a 4-game winning streak. MPJ, Joker, and Jamal combined for 67, 25, and 12. Funky night from Jokic, didn't matter. Nuggets roll, and we're ready to break it all down. I'm joined by D-Line Co., the ever-excited D-Line Co.
Not ever excited. I would say I'm more up and down as a human being, but tonight, all up, baby. It's up time. Let's go.
And the hard-to-read but easy-to-enjoy Superstar Dev.
I couldn't agree with that more.
I don't know what to do with my hands. But we're here, and it's great vibes heading into the All-Star break. We needed the break. The Nuggets needed the break. Let's get to it. You guys needed the break.
I got to tell you guys, I don't want to take a break.
I know.
I don't want
now we have to take a break.
I don't want a second away from any of you.
Vibes are good, man.
Do you guys want to move into an apartment together?
That actually
we'll talk about it after the show.
Probably is the line, Eric. It'll be a fun
show.
show. We'll talk about our big takeaways. We'll run through all the players that played tonight. Big questions. Where would we go for our All-Star break? An update from Wind after that media availability, and maybe a little state of the Nuggets. Heading into the break, let's start with our bets, though, gentlemen, because you guys were bullish. Dev, you gave me a lock coming into the game. Mm-hmm. You have to remind me what it is, though, and did you hit?
I had a few different locks heading into the game.
You did.
I think one of your locks was like fairly rusty.
One of them was Jokic. He just didn't get off to the game that he was supposed to have. But I said that we should take the Nuggets line at -3.5.
That's
like
right.
that was a one that we should have known that was going to happen. I also had Malcolm Brogdon. I don't know how he fared. Today was not a good day for me, man. I didn't have the vibes as I thought that I did.
Yeah, your locks, a lot of confidence, not necessarily a lot of winning. Eric, how'd you do on the bets tonight?
I would describe my performance tonight as a mixed bag. I was very correct on some, and I was very incorrect on others. The thing that I'm most proud of is identifying that Michael Porter Jr. to get a double-double plus 190.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
And I owe everyone an apology for talking you out of that Barton over on the points, which he hit in nearly 5 minutes. So that's my bad. But fellas, a good win, an exciting win. Let's go to our takeaways. Superstar Dev, what is your main takeaway from what I dubbed at halftime to be a virtually takeless game?
There's not one.
Yeah.
There's not two. But there's a big three. Like, everybody knew that getting those three guys rolling heading into the All-Star break, or also just finishing out the season with all three playing great basketball, was going to be the best that the Nuggets could be. And now we see that they're playing, at the highest potential that they could go at. And when you have a player like Nikola Jokic, who can do everything on the basketball court, and he's such a good passer. Now he has two guys that he could go through, and it makes it very, very difficult for teams to key in on a guy. But it also makes it just free-flowing offense and guys able to just do whatever they want. Now you're not seeing Michael Porter Jr. have to read what's going on. It's starting to come to him, and as long as he's playing this hot, the super chat's going to start coming in, and we're going to be on the Winners Lounge, and we're going to be going streaking.
Speaking of which, we just got one. Shout out DNVR super member Jake Vandenbrink. We appreciate you, brother. We too love PJ Dozier, and we'll get to PJ's big night.
That is all.
But first, Eric, what about your big takeaway from the win?
The big takeaway is that the complementary players of the Denver Nuggets are getting their confidence, and it is swelling. And this was not a game that was dominated by Jokic and Murray in a way that we typically expect. They still, ultimately, if you look at the stat line, they still had great nights.
But first half,
they didn't look great, but Michael Porter Jr. looked fantastic. PJ Dozier came in with confidence. Will Barton had great moments, had some very head-scratching moments, but that's kind of the Will Barton experience. But everybody around the margins is starting to rise up, and Denver Nuggets win all four on the road. That is a fantastical feat. I'm very, very excited.
Yeah, I can't believe they got probably an off half from Jokic, right? Missed some bunnies around the rim. That first half was pretty weird, uncharacteristic. A Jamal Murray who was looking to play point guard tonight, get other guys going.
Yeah.
And yet they were rolling in that first half. And I think that's what I take away from this game. Guys, a month ago, no matter who was healthy or in this rotation, there is no chance they win those non-Jokic minutes. And tonight they looked really productive. Also thought we saw a bit of a long boys lineup out there. At one point we had PJ, MPJ, Vlatko, Najee, and Jokic. Prior to that, Hartenstein in there for Jokic. And both those units played pretty well. So I think you're seeing some growth from some of these role players in the second unit. And you've got to get to that point eventually this season where you can sit Jokic and not hold your breath.
Looks like you got a super chat from one Adam Mayers.
Adam Mayers?
It says, in an attempt to atone for my mistake, which mistake are we talking about?
When you took the coward's way out?
Oh,
and
he's
took the
rebought in for Jokic for MVP, cost him $220 to get the same payback he had previously.
Same.
No one understands this strategy. It's essentially financial flagellation. Adam feels bad. He's trying to atone. It doesn't matter, Adam. We don't even want you on this rocket ship. Beat it.
I just love when Adam does something wrong. It's just so good. Like, just make sure everyone else gets to see it.
Yeah, let's do it. Keep the super chats rolling.
The second super chat. Can we talk about the Chanchar equals Baby Jokic comment from Marlowe?
Oh, that's right. Chris Marlowe is the one who called him Baby Jokic. Yeah, probably a bit of a stretch, but how about that pass Jokic had to Chanchar tonight? He loves playing with him, dude. He tries so hard to spoon feed him points.
I find it hard to call anyone a baby that's nearly 7 feet tall and 300 pounds.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. All right, guys, let's go through this roster now, talk about the nights we saw from the Denver Nuggets respectively. We'll start where we usually start with the Nuggets, the big fella. Dev, we just dubbed it an off night. He finishes with 20 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists, 9 of 18 from the field, 50%. What'd you see from Jokic tonight?
I seen him just sleepwalking to a near triple-double. Like, that's like his floor. Like, that's just scary to think about. Like, Jokic doesn't even want to try or wants to play. He's just like, I know we're going to win this game. You're not going to need me a lot tonight. I'm just going to be out here. I'm just here so I don't get fined. Jokic is just like, he's so good that even on his nights off, he still looks like, top, one of the top players in the entire world. And that just goes to show the type of like level that he's playing on. You could tell that it's an off night. He has seven turnovers in this one. He missed a lot of shots at the rim. Not really getting his 3-pointers up. He's turning down a lot of looks. Just really not motivated in this game. And you could expect that. He's getting ready to go into the All-Star break. Everybody else is excited to get some time off, go be around family, maybe take a trip or whatever they're going to do. Jokic is still business for him. Although it's deemed as fun, this is not something that a lot of the NBA players want to do. So for Jokic, this was just another night for him that he just was like, okay, let's get a couple of days off, or let's just go into this and not take it so serious.
Dude, imagine the idea that like you're talking about, a lot of the NBA players don't actually want to participate. It's like an honor, but it's like you'd rather rest. And then compound that with the idea that the Utah Jazz players, Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell, they're going into the All-Star break, and they were just immediately slandered. They somehow made becoming All-Stars a mark against them by getting picked last and second to last.
I love how this is we're breaking down the Nuggets game player by player, and that's Eric's opportunity to dunk on the Utah Jazz. Yeah, I liked, guys, that tonight Jokic shot through it. It was a frustrating night at first. He ends up leading the team in field goal attempts tonight at 18. I don't know if I would say that he wasn't motivated. I actually thought he was pretty frustrated that his own shot wasn't going. I thought he expected better of himself. But look, he collects himself, he delivers late in the game, closes the door, and it just speaks to our expectations for this guy more than anything. Like, that genuinely didn't feel like a very good game.
Well, he didn't. He started off very slow in this game, and he missed a lot of shots.
7 turnovers is the thing I didn't mention, which is the obvious.
He really was playing a very sloppy version of his game.
He was.
He really picked it up in the second half. Actually, about halfway through the second half. But then it was Jokic, and Jokic. Give me a break. This guy is as close to a basketball machine as we've seen in these parts or in the NBA. So when he wants to set his mind to it, I don't know how you stop him.
Eric, you weren't sure what you were seeing from tonight, from Jamal Murray tonight. Not very aggressive in the first half.
Not at all.
Ultimately, though, he ends up second on the team in field goal attempts with 15, 23 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds, and only 3 turnovers. Ultimately, when it was all said and done, what did you think of Jamal's night?
Same thing. Both he and Jokic kind of came out. I think they were sort of just hoping that the rest of the team would play well enough that they didn't have to like fully put their heart and soul into this one. And at a certain point, it became abundantly clear that it's not an option for those two to just take full nights off. So Murray came out in the second half. He started to be more aggressive. I mean, he just was like not even looking at the rim. He wasn't even necessarily facilitating. He was just kind of floating around in the first half. And then, when he starts to shoot, it's like, dude, why don't you just do that every time? If you want to talk about baby food, it's like every shot Jamal Murray takes inside of 10 feet. It's just,
other guys were cooking, though. Earlier in the season, he wasn't shooting that much, and that's what he was telling us. He was just trying to play point guard, trying to get other guys going. He likes to score, but he doesn't necessarily want to take the shot every time. He likes to get other guys going.
Last week he came out and said that he feels like he could make any shot on the court, right now. Since then, I feel like he's been in a shooting slump. It's actually been kind of wild. You don't notice it because they're winning games, and also he's scoring a lot of baskets, but the three-point shot is not falling at the same rate. So I think that kind of deterred him going into the in the first half. That's why he was turning down looks and not keeping up the same way. But from that, you started to see him remain physical and still try to get shots. He's an aggressive, getting downhill and making things happen. So you will take an aggressive Jamal Murray as far as still trying to get shots up. He turned down a lot of shots, but he still ended with 15 shots,
right?
Which is right around the ballpark that you expect from him. He just has to make a few more of those shots, and we're thinking that he's going to have an explosive game. He finishes with 23.
Right.
Two of those fall. He's at 29 points right there.
Yeah, it's so true. It just comes down to does he want to? And he just didn't have to tonight.
He didn't have to tonight. I think that's the key. I'm not trying to stir something up where there's no problem, but 1 for 5 again from 3 tonight. So maybe that's why it didn't feel like the utter domination we've seen from him in weeks past.
He's so good.
But ultimately, he didn't need to do much in the first half. And part of that, guys, was because there were 10 early points scored from Will Barton, who only shoots 9 times in this game, by the way, when it's all said and done. 16 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 4 turnovers. Was brutal in the third, but he finishes 7 of 9 from the floor, 2 of 2 from deep. Dev, what'd you see from Barton tonight?
Just, super efficient, and Barton was having such a great start of the game that it's actually scary. It's scary to see Will Barton get everything going early because you're like, how is he going to play for the rest of the game? Is he going to take every single shot? Is he going to feel content? I feel like at times, Will Barton feels content when he plays so well. He's like, okay, now I can do whatever I want, or I'm going to have a few heat check moments that you guys can't say anything for, because in the first half, I already had 10 points, 12 points. I already had my season total right there.
Right.
So whatever I do in the second half is just on me, and that's what you got to see. You got to see 2 halves from Barton. Of course, Nugget fans and the teammates and everything around wants to see the efficiency from Barton. 7 of 9 from the field, knocks down both 3-pointers. You really, really do need that. But then you also see the confidence is just so high that you're like, damn it. Now the turnovers are coming. Yep. Now the shots are coming. He's going to force it a lot. He's not going to rotate
that train is never late.
And that also maybe played into why Jokic was like, all right, I'm just not going to shoot today. He had his, I always have my day. Let's give him his day, or let's just let him go and do his thing.
Barton used to get a lot of shots in this offense. He was organically the third option at times. Now with Porter in the mix, it's different. And when he gets going early, that's when he's allowed to shoot at times, right? Either in that first quarter or when he grabs a rebound and goes. We'll see him pretty keen on scoring usually, or getting a shot up. So, yeah, a little too much in the third, too much dribbling in the third for sure. Turns it over a bunch, just trying too hard. But all that said, over the last couple of weeks, there are some bright spots from a guy who's had a pretty tumultuous season. If he cuts the turnovers out tonight, though, I think that's a good night. Sneaky good rebounding night as well. Monte Morris, guys. Monte has struggled a little bit, I think, since coming back from that shoulder injury. Was it a shoulder injury? Do I have that right?
I don't know.
3 of 6 from the floor tonight, but 0 of 3 from deep. 8 points, 2 assists, 1 turnover, 1 block. A quiet night from Monte, but they didn't need much from him. What do you think, Dev?
Now that PJ is there, it just kind of looks different as far as what you expect from Monte, and also just not, being part of that second unit. I think that he's still, trying to find his way. As opposed to when he's with those guys, he could control things and everything goes through him. He could operate what's happening around him. And right now, I think he's trying to figure out, okay, it's just taking him a while to adapt.
Yeah.
We already know that Monte is a player that you could put around anybody and get the best results. But I think right now he's really just trying to think of what is the best way and how do I fit in this role. We're not seeing the same finishes that we were seeing from Monte. We're seeing him take chances that he typically doesn't take. Just going back, some of the passes that he's making, he's forcing guys to spots that are not playing a lot of basketball or not used to being at those spots. So it's not really a turnover that's on him, but now it's like getting them better to,
Sure.
I made it to that spot. This is where you should have been. A lot of his plays and mistakes that Monte's been having lately is he's putting it where they're supposed to be. They don't understand that quite yet, but they'll get there. But also, I think it's really just not making the shots or being aggressive on the layup attempts that we've been seeing, and that's what really stands out for you.
Yeah, he's like short in a lot of his shots.
A lot of his
right
jumpers
now.
are short. Yep.
Which to me speaks to not feeling strong and confident in your legs. Maybe I'm potentially shoulder as well, but I just don't feel like he feels 100% at the moment. So break can't come fast enough for Monte because he's Monte's like the most. His entire calling card is just being the most reliable Nugget.
It's also been okay, right? Like individually, he hasn't been that guy we saw earlier in the season.
Yeah.
But that lineup is crushing, right?
Totally.
Him alongside Murray, Barton, Porter, Yoke. So it's okay, But I do think this is a guy who's maybe still trying to find his rhythm coming back from that injury. I believe, guys, I have in my notes, correct me if I'm wrong, Vlatko Čančar first off the bench again tonight. He plays 15 and a half minutes, 7 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, plus
age of
17
Vlatko.
off
Holy
the bench.
shnikes.
Deb, what did you see from Vlatko tonight?
So, one time I was in this relationship, and in this relationship, it was with a
got it,
girl.
Kale?
The girl wasn't as pretty, as she as everyone else thought. Like
This doesn't
everybody
sound like
didn't
one of your
understand.
relationships.
They didn't understand why I was with her or anything like that.
You were
but she
slumming it.
made me happy, and that's what you get with Vlatko. He makes Nicola happy. And that's just like his bright spot.
I
So
can't
you
believe
can't
you
take it
landed that
away.
plane. I really
Nothing there, like nothing else matters.
No.
Nobody else matters. Nothing
No.
else. He's out there. He's doing what he has to do. He's good vibes. He's the reason that we're in these good vibes.
Is that right?
Vlatko is a hard worker
Vibe
that is
co?
out there. He fits a role that they definitely need right now. Jokic is happy playing alongside him, and you can't be mad at a player that's out there giving his all.
Yeah.
Dev, I gotta know, how many relationships have you been in? How many relationships have you been in?
Yeah, see, that's one of the things about my relationships. I could talk about them, but I don't give you guys names or.
No, I don't
or-
want names.
Yeah.
Just like a number.
It's all been the same girl.
Is it just the same?
Yeah, it's all one girl.
Those are secrets, man. Those are secrets.
How many of them have happened concurrently? These relationships.
None of these. None of them.
Eric, what are you seeing from Vlatko right now? Really good game against Milwaukee.
Yeah, man. Vlatko is good vibes. It really,
Yeah.
that's like the way to say it. Like he's a steadying force. He was bad for 2 games in a row, and he really turned it all around. He's a very fundamentally sound player. He's just a rock. I don't know about baby Jokic, but I mean, it's hard to not fall in love with Vlatko Čančar. Like he's just, he's all heart. He's all hustle. He's put his time in. He's been the number 1 cheerleader on the Nuggets bench for years, and like now he's getting an opportunity and he's making the most of it. It's great to see.
He said he wants to make the least amount of mistakes possible when on the floor. That's his goal. And he's turned into a very coachable, playable end of the bench reserve, which, doesn't just have to be a guy who's there for morale. Like sometimes half your rotation's out and you got to turn to these guys. I think Vlatko is pretty much the player that he's going to be. I don't know if he's going to get much better or worse throughout his career, but you can play the guy, and that's honestly a dub. So a credit to him for staying ready.
This is a good transition to a super chat we have. Eric.
Says, how do you integrate Harris, Green, and Millsap after the break? Guys are playing well. What should Malone do? From
Kel-
Hurricane Teabag.
It's a good question, Kel. Try to remind me in the second segment if you can. It fits pretty organically. We'll talk about that, Hurricane. It's a valid question. There are some big questions left to answer now. We'll talk about what questions remain. But, guys, let's talk about PJ Dozier right now. Because
Doge?
that was a great game from PJ. Now, only 5 points, only 2 of 5 from the floor, but 8 assists, one absolutely saucy pass to Yoke. I think it was like a post-entry pass. And some really, really, really strong defensive play. More to the point, tonight looks like a very solid fit alongside Jokic. Fit into those long boy units really well. And ultimately, it's not a great defensive game for the Nuggets guys, but there were some opportunistic stretches of defense where they looked awesome, and I thought PJ was involved in a lot of them.
PJ Dozier wasn't good tonight. He was amazing.
Oh, wow.
Plus 31. That's almost a perfect game.
Plus 31.
Honestly. Plus 31. And that just goes to show like that he fit his role tonight.
That's so stupid.
He
How
had
is that a stat line?
He had 8 assists in the game. So like when he went in, that's where they won the game. That's what that tells you is as soon as he entered the game, things went well. And as soon as he got out of the game, things weren't going so well.
They were like,
there's a lot of times that we've been talking about what's our perfect lineups, and Adam said that he would put PJ Dozier in his starting lineup because of how he adapts and the versatility and what he would do out there. And tonight was a night that he showed that. Getting to his spots, not forcing every single shot like we've been seeing, and showing that he can adapt and fit a different role. We think of him as a versatile scorer, defender and things of that nature, but he also shows that he could score at times. He could defend at times. He could pass. He could, run the sets. He does so many things, and he has a great the size to match it, and he was really good tonight.
Yeah, here's a real question. Like, does the emergence of a PJ Dozier, of Latko Chanchar, some of these other players that you sort of had around, but they weren't playing, they weren't contributing, the Nuggets weren't doing well. Now they're starting to play well, and we're getting close to the time where you're starting to really talk about trades being made. Does their emergence give Tim Connolly pause when he's starting to think about how to enhance this roster? Do we already have enough?
I think the roster construction is still too funky.
The construction?
From a talent standpoint, Eric, yeah, I think you probably can, because the top end talent is there. But from a construction standpoint, they might still look to consolidate. But look, we've talked a lot about this revelation, or for some of you, old news, that Jamal Murray should be at the shooting guard, MPJ should be a 4. So then you have two glaring holes, like who is that one alongside Murray? Everyone's loving Monte right now in the regular season. There are legitimate questions about that pairing in the playoffs. It's not a lot of size, right? And then your 3 as well. Who's your true 3 if MPJ is your 4? Dozier could be the answer to either of these questions.
That's what I'm saying.
And if he's going to be the point guard alongside Jamal, then tonight's really encouraging. You see those 8 assists. The feel for the game was there. I'm not sold on PJ yet. I find myself holding my breath a lot of the times when he has the ball, but tonight he looked like that guy they needed him to be.
Rayvon Hackshaw, who I really do appreciate. Like every single time he brings it, like
He's the man.
he's a part of the show.
Dude, Rayvon was on all of our quarantine DNBA shows. He was on the steps. This is our guy.
Like he's a part of the show, like a true homie. But he brings up a good super chat question of I think PJ Dozier is everything we wanted and Emmanuel Mudiay to grow into. Thoughts? Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they wanted. They wanted a guy that, and it's also actually better that they got it in PJ Dozier than Mudiay, because it wouldn't have led to this right now. But you have a big guard who can play multiple positions, and it makes the other team have to adapt and choose how they're going to play against you. And that's what they really wanted in Mudiay. He could run the offense. He could play point guard, and it gives other scorers. Because at the time, it was Gary Harris. They wanted him to be the guy that's knocking down shots, and they also have a defensive punch if you put them next to each other, and that's going to be scary for opposing teams to have a deadly backcourt duo like that just gives you options of scoring and defending at any time, because you're made for the playoffs. And that was a good idea, just to know it's not for the regular season, which, the Nuggets were playing for with like George Karl and, times like that. But the playoffs is where it actually matters, and that's where you could have those two play along. So Dozier is the perfect Nugget. Like he fits.
Mr. Nugget?
I knew you was going to do it. He fits so many narratives that they really do need. So great question.
All right, let's wrap this up pretty quick. I agree. It's a good compliment.
It is.
Question.
It's funny. Just quickly, it's like you want a tall guard with skill. And unfortunately, Mudiay was only half of that.
Zeke Naji tonight, guys. really quiet stat line, 1 from 3 from the floor, 3 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, plus 16 in 16 minutes. My only Zeke takeaway tonight, not really a knock necessarily, just an observation. This man is petrified of dribbling. He is not trying to put the ball on the floor for 1 second.
No.
But he's not trying to make mistakes either. And yeah, I've generally appreciated Najee's approach. Tonight, nothing much to write home about. Did you see anything noteworthy?
Yeah, he's not getting on the highway. He's going to take the back roads every single time. Like, he's really does not make many mistakes, and he's going to put himself in situations where there is no mistakes. So, yeah, he's making smart passes. If you don't have to dribble, there's not many other turnovers that you could have. And he also stays shot ready every single time because he does not dribble.
He is shot
which
ready,
he understands what his role is and what he's going to do. So he's growing. He's growing.
I'll close on a more fun note, Eric. Isaiah Hartenstein, 3 for 3 from the floor, 7 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, only 3 fouls in 11 minutes. All jokes aside, some good minutes from Hartenstein. Did you like what you saw?
Every nugget is good. Every nugget is good. It includes Isaiah Hartenstein. No, he played within himself, and he got the 3 fouls. I mean, but at a certain point, he's the wild card, right? Like, he comes in, he shakes things up. He allows Jokic to be able to sit. He got some decent rebounds. He didn't stand out in the wrong ways, which is oftentimes what he does. So he sort of fit in and was noticeably unnoticeable. So that, I think, is a very big plus. He had a big block shot.
This was a great game for him, and he brought momentum and energy. Shucks. Man.
I guess you have to take one.
You have to take it. You have a spot right here.
Hill accidentally poured 4, so he might have to take one too. Oops.
Sorry. So he played well. He brought energy, and he also was a part of that group that came in with Dozier, who was really well. Like, Dozier played well, and it's because he trusted in his big man. They ran the plays the way that they're supposed to. He played within himself. There was a few times that he grabbed rebounds that he would have went up for or tried to force a shot. Looked up, reset the offense. That's exactly what you need from Hartenstein, because if you get a guy that's giving you extra opportunities and not giving those away, it's keeping good minutes out there, and he gave good minutes against a Pacer team that that does have the size.
It's so true.
This was a good game for him, honestly. Like, all jokes aside,
well,
he played
by
exceptionally
his
well.
standards, right? Like, he and again, like, to really just speaks to the idea that, like, all of the other Nuggets players played well tonight, right? It was just Jokic and Murray still, like, did their thing to a reasonable degree, but, like, everybody else just kind of took the mantle and they pitched in. They did what had to be done, and everybody looked good doing it. This is like an ultimate vibes game. This is like a absolute, like, send you into the All-Star break feeling happy, feeling content. It's Nuggets time, man. Let's go.
Real quick, guys, from the bench tonight: Flacco plus 17, PJ plus 31, Zeke plus 16, Hartenstein plus 13. This was a bench night. Hey, Kale, we are going to roll that Zoom Care ad, but first, fellas.
Roll that beautiful
First.
I think you should come take it with us.
Yeah, Kale, you want to come take this one with us, buddy?
Kale.
I put myself on the screen.
Oh, look at that.
Oh,
dude.
look at that. He's got a
Technology
better
guy.
view than us.
Hey, to a winner's lounge, boys.
Javelli.
Well earned. Well deserved.
Javelli.
That sounds better. It sounds
Thanks, bro.
smooth.
Oh, yeah, Kale. You spit it out live on the internet, too? Don't worry.
What is wrong with
Only
you, Kale?
780 people saw that, Kale.
Yeah, what's wrong with you, Kale? You got to man up, bro.
All right, let's go to the Zoom Care break.
So what exactly is video care? Well, video care is like a trip to Zoom Care, just from your couch. You can see, hear, and chat with your doctor, just like a traditional in-office visit. Get secure access to urgent, primary, and specialist care, including mental health. It's all from the comfort of your own home. Video care is covered by most private insurers, usually with a copay. Head to zoomcare.com/video to get started.
Men, did you guys know that one man every hour, every day is diagnosed with testicular cancer? At Manscaped, they save balls. This means not only designing the right tools for the job, but raising awareness for the ball-busting disease, which is the most common form of cancer among men ages 15 to 35. 15 to 35, guys. It starts earlier than you think. As part of Manscaped's brand mission, their partnership with the Testicular Cancer Society aims to educate and entertain while spreading a very important message about early detection and self-screening to protect yourself against men's health issues and cancer risks. First and foremost, get your balls checked. Don't overlook that. It's important. Next, grab a Lawnmower 3.0. Use code DNVR to save 20%, plus free shipping to help the proceeds go towards an amazing cause. Buy your performance packages and crop mops today to contribute to the We Save Balls initiative. I would like that t-shirt, Manscaped, if you have it. Every purchase made in the month of March goes towards contributions made to the Testicular Cancer Society. Use code DNVR, save 20% off that purchase, and get free shipping.
There you go. That's a good cause.
Hey, we already brought you damn good beer. Now, as some of you know already, we're delivering to you that damn good beef. Hassel Cattle Company, absolute best source for farm-to-table Wagyu beef in the country, guys. Head to castlecattlecompany.com. That's HASSELL, cattlecompany.com. Use promo code DNVR10 for 10% off your order. That's DNVR10 for 10% off. And hey, if you're feeling like you want to order in bulk, any orders over $200, you get free shipping. Check them out at hasslecattlecompany.com. We promise you, you will not be disappointed.
Harrison asked if he should come on the show.
I told him fine.
The answer's no. No, he
You
shouldn't.
had your time.
Wait, I want wind
Harrison.
on the show. Wait, what's happening?
He asked if he should come on the show.
He asked for me. You should never ask permission. That's all.
Please do. Guys, I'm struggling with these ad reads tonight, so I'm very excited
What's
to be
going
done.
on,
Very
man?
excited to be done with that break. All right, we're back. And do we have wind or no?
I actually have no idea.
He's actually like here.
Let's hit King of the Game. Thank you, Cal.
Well, you'll
This was a
know
tough-
when we have him when
should've-
he arrives.
We should
here.
have done a vote because I think that would have been split. I think that people would have
Is
not
King of the
known.
Game?
Who?
Yeah.
We went with Michael Porter
People
Jr.,
would have
guys.
said either Mike or MPJ. So I wanted to see which it would have
But
been.
Michael Porter Jr. is our King of the Game, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Again, this entire show, by the way, is presented to DraftKings Sportsbook. Use code DNVR.
Hey, if you guys get us to 200 likes, Kale will take another shot.
No, it's already been paid for. You
No,
can-
you don't say that.
Ooh, do you guys feel like gust of wind?
Yeah.
Oh
it's-
my
I'm already
gosh.
wearing my coat.
It's our King of the post-game show.
King of the
stalling
show.
for you, super producer Kale.
Oh boy. Kale is fumbling through. Kale is fumbling through layers.
Whoa, we got to 200 so
We got to
fast.
200. Dev, you are a man of the people.
Oh my God.
And here he is, guys, the man with the wind in his hair, our friend, our colleague, the myth, the legend, Harrison Wind.
See, I was asking if I should come on because Nuggets were taking forever to come out for the Zooms. Actually, here's PJ Dozier.
Oh, perfect.
You have your headphones in, you should just sit here and watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I could tell you guys were really struggling on the show without me, so
Yes.
I felt like
Rough
I
one.
needed to come on
Rough one.
regardless.
Yeah.
We were,
yeah.
Harrison. We were. Did you get to speak with anyone yet or no?
Yeah, I spoke with Michael Malone, spoke with Michael Porter Jr. Both had some good stuff, so. You guys want to hear it?
Yeah, that would be great if you don't mind.
I just wanted to know if you talked to them. And that's it.
Yeah, just asking.
Yeah, Michael Malone started out by saying the bench really steadied us in the first half after a weird first quarter. And think about the bench that the Nuggets have been working with. I'm sure you guys hit on this already.
We
but,
did, yeah.
Jamal Murray, PJ Dozier, Zeke Naji, Isaiah Hartenstein, Vlatko Čančar. Like, it's not your I don't think that's the bench the Nuggets had in mind that they were going to be rolling out there a lot during games, but it's been pretty good these last couple games, especially. They've had some good defensive moments, and I think it's no surprise that three of those guys are pretty good defenders in Dozier, Naji, and Vlatko. So big shout out to the bench. 4-0 on this road trip. It's the first time since 2012 that the Nuggets have won 4 in a row on the road. Big stuff there. His advice to his team over the break: get tested every day, be safe, be smart. Malone says he plans to maybe go up to Breckenridge during the break.
Oh, wow.
Should we? That's a nice.
Let's go meet him. Can you imagine?
I'm sure
we've got-
he could find some good stuff to drink up there.
Where would you go?
All right, that's perfect, and we'll use that. But back pocket it. I want to hear the rest of this media availability, and we'll get to this truly glorious graphic and segment.
Oh man, that Look at me.
Dev said,
Harrison, that hat is perfect, man. Look, we look so cool. Why are you giggling?
that's the most animated
you
I've seen
giggling?
Dev ever. It's just for the hat.
That is Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo.
That's what I'm. Yes.
Cinco de Mayo.
Yes.
That's incredible.
What are we gonna do on that?
How long
You know-
have you been working on that?
The great.
Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
Since the last Cinco de
I
Mayo.
can't
a
believe
year.
May is coming. Like not that long from now. It's
the best month of the year.
All right, thanks for derailing the show, but let's go back to Wind and let's hear the rest of this media availability.
Apologize, buddy.
Malone also just kind of ended with just a classic Michael Malone speech on overcoming adversity.
Oh, yeah.
And we've been banged up. We've been injured. Nobody cares. Nobody cares that we're hurt.
I care.
But they've showed a lot. They've showed kind of that inner strength. And, I mean, it's been a theme of this team in the Michael Malone, Nikola Jokic era for sure. And, hey, to reel off 4 wins in a row on the road, considering where this team has been at some points this year and where they are now heading into the break, 21-15, I think they're either 6th or 5th in the West.
Wow.
I mean, you take that. You take that every day of the week.
And this Midwestern road trip is not an easy one, typically speaking. To go through Chicago, Milwaukee, I mean, these are typically places that give you trouble, give people fits. And 4-0, man, like the vibes.
I think the injury thing, you know, the Nuggets are on this timeline now of like, is the progression linear or did they miss their championship window or everything gets all real tight and real urgent. But I just think if we were talking about another team that we were a healthy distance away and they were missing all those rotation players, that would be our first note. You know, like why is Team X struggling? Because they're missing key players. But of course, it feels like excuse talk about the team you're close to. But
Of course, it is true. Like when you look at, you're like, man, the Trailblazers or whatever are having a real bad year, and then you're like, but you know they'll be fine by the playoffs. Like that's exactly how we would talk about the Nuggets if we were not covering them every day. We're like, well, you know they're in the 7th place, but they're going to get healthy. They'll be there by the playoffs, and you'll just move past it. But when you're in like a myopic view and analyzing every play of every game, it can feel hopeless at times. But you know the larger storyline coming into play is that the Nuggets are really, really starting to find their identity. They're starting to find their legs. They're starting to understand who they are with this largely new team that they had, that they didn't have last year.
Yeah.
The 7 new players are making sense together, and so onward and upward, baby.
And also to hold the Bucks to 97 and then only give up 103 to the Pacers.
Yes.
With just Jokic and a bunch of dudes, you know, like especially on that bench unit. Pretty impressive stuff. Michael Porter Jr. plans to go back to Missouri, hang with the family during the All-Star break. He said getting that Rising Stars, being selected to that team, it's a huge honor. It's a blessing, but he's okay with the game not being played because he just wants to go home and chill out.
Totally.
He said it's kind of dope. Quote, kind of dope that the game's not being played.
I agree, Mike. It is
Yeah.
kind of dope.
Just kind of speaking about his season from a larger perspective, from a high level, he said when he was struggling, remember, like not too long ago, this guy couldn't hit a shot somehow, but we all thought he'd pull out of it. When he was struggling, he said he really focused on getting more on point with his routine. It's like his day-to-day routine, his sleep. And then he changed his mindset, kind of to not let his shot determine his mindset during a game. You know, if he's having a bad shot, and we've talked about this a
So
ton,
much
but
pressure riding on
yeah,
him.
he doesn't want to take himself out of games if his shot's not falling. And yes, his shot has been falling as of late, but he's doing the other stuff too. And then I thought this was good also. In terms of his goals for the rest of the season, he wants to be the best version of himself. And then he said, I don't want to voice it anymore because I don't want to sound arrogant, but I know what I can be.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. He's acing the pressers. By the way, what a well-earned break for Porter, who just... It's exhausting for us. Can you imagine how exhausting it must be if every night your performance is just relitigated? Just every single night it's the only story.
Hey, man, it's the job.
So did they seem relieved, Harrison? Was there like a last day of school bit of energy there from the guys?
Definitely from Malone. I think the guys are just like ready to get back to Denver and then go to wherever they're going to go.
Sure.
But Malone for sure. Like I said on the pregame show, he had senior in high school last week of school before graduation vibes. Just in a great mood. He was in a good mood post-game too. So it was good.
Good stuff.
Good night.
Well, Kel, I think I'm finally ready to take another look at that beauty, that graphic. If you want to pull it back
Oh
up.
man, let's brace for this.
Let's just leave this on the screen for a while.
This is the
Hey,
segment.
hold on. This is a perfect time to tell everyone. If we could get to 300 likes, Harrison will slam his shots.
Shots?
A Rocky
plural?
a shot. Two
One.
shots.
One.
Two shots for Harrison.
Harrison drove here, Dev. I saw it with my own
bad.
eyes.
I'm sorry.
Can
I
I-
got too excited.
Can I just point out something on the graphic? All
Yeah.
of you go to fun locations. Me, just wearing my normal hat. I'll
The
probably
DNVR
You're just
bar.
working.
I'll just
Yeah,
stay.
you're working.
I'll just stay home and
Yeah.
work.
Harrison does love Vegas. Harrison, in the rare event that Brandon Spano gave you a break here during this All-Star break, where would you go, pal?
It's a good question.
You should do it with the picture. It just looks so cool.
So, apparently during All-Star break, Miami is like heaven.
Yeah.
There's just something about Miami. Maybe you have to be an NBA player and just be loaded and rich.
I think I'd get the same treatment.
You think?
Well, look
But
at me.
Miami for NBA players just seems like I don't even know how to describe it. Just like another world. It's like the best place ever during All-Star break.
Yeah, I have a feeling like if the four of us went to Miami, we'd have a different weekend too.
No, me and D-Line we'd have a
I
hangover,
know.
like a hangover
Dude,
part
can you
3 type
imagine-
of weekend.
Can you imagine us going to clubs and me waiting outside till you're done?
You're just working on a graphic in the car. Yeah.
Me getting us a pizza for later.
No, it's utopia for NBA players. I don't know if it'd be for us. I am gonna say
Vegas.
no. I'm not gonna say Vegas because Vegas, you can't do much in Vegas right now.
That's true.
You can't do
yeah.
what you can normally do in Vegas.
That's true. Lose all your money.
Yeah, I want to go to a beach. I want to go to a beach,
Wynn's got this.
not a
beachy vibes.
resort, because I don't want to see anybody.
Oh my god.
I just want to go to a
Love that
beach
energy.
with my significant other,
This is like very romantic.
and just
Bring
be
back
by
the music.
myself. Totally disconnect.
I love it. You
Shut
go-
off my phone.
so wait, you,
Bury the phone in the sand.
Go to a place with no Wi-Fi at all.
so let me just make
Man.
sure I understand. You go to a deserted island with your significant other, and then you just hang out by yourself while you're there.
No, I would be hanging out with.
Well,
my
you said you just want to be
significant
alone.
other.
I don't.
Well, alone with her.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but none of you guys. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's the right answer. Dev, where would you go? I'm really curious for this answer, actually.
So first, I'm gonna stop by Popeyes for sure. Hopefully, it's on a Tuesday.
You can do that tonight.
They have a
That's right.
special on Tuesday. If you guys
Oh
didn't
my
know,
god, I've been waiting for this break.
on my way from that, I'm gonna end up in I'm gonna go on a resort. That's what I'm gonna do because it's not gonna be spring break for everyone. It's only for the All-Star for NBA.
Does
so
Popeyes have a resort?
no. No, I'm gonna go to probably Cancun is what I would probably do, or just somewhere with a resort that's is gonna be one that has no children. For sure, it's gonna be a no child resort, and then I'm just gonna have fun. But I'm gonna stop by that Popeyes for
Okay,
sure.
sure,
Red beans and rice.
Why do you need a break to do that? That's so good. Eric, where would you go, old man, for your break?
Whoa.
Unbelievable. The slander.
Not a club goer.
He's like Sears.
not a club. That was good.
Yeah, there you
Seriously.
go.
I was born a J.C. Penney man. I'll die a J.C. Penney man. Where would I go? I would go. You know what I like? I like an all-inclusive resort. I like to go when I go on vacation. I go to Mexico. I've not been in some time, and then I go to Mexico where I can see the ocean and then never visit it. I just lay and then I just take a nap in my room and then go to the pool near the ocean.
Yeah. So Dev and I went to the same all-inclusive resort in Mexico within like a week of each other.
Really?
Just by chance.
Just like a Modern Family
Two different
episode.
experiences
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
two
I'm
different
sure.
experiences. He's a party animal, you know, and I'm just calm,
Whoa.
laid back, and things.
Well, you're
like
in a
that.
relationship.
Several.
Those are the
What about you,
past.
Brendan? You're not getting out of this.
I would go to Serbia. So go ahead and like the show
I
on
would
YouTube and
absolutely
subscribe.
go to Serbia. What kind of a stupid question?
As a
answer did I
fan
give?
service answer, baby. No, I really do want to go to Serbia. Like the second I can, I am doing that. That's on the
Let's
list.
go back to Hawaii.
Kale, oh yeah, Kale was in Hawaii. Congrats,
Kale, I went to Hawaii.
I just got there. I'm still 10.
Well, sure. All right, let's hit another break. When we come back, we'll do a little State of the Nuggets, catch up on those super chats, send you guys into your weekend and into the All-Star break on a high. First, let me tell you about DraftKings. UFC 259 is this weekend. Is that right? Do I have that right? I do.
don't know.
And it's sure to be action-packed with 3 title fights taking place in one night. DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of UFC, is putting you in the center of this weekend's title fight with 100-to-1 odds on either fighter to land a punch during the title fight. Land a punch. So pick either main fighter to land a single punch during this weekend's UFC 259 bout. DraftKings Sportsbook will give you 100-to-1 odds. There is no better way to put your MMA knowledge to the test. I'm not going to lie to you. You don't need to know much. We're talking about one punch.
Right.
This is a no-brainer. So download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code DNVR when you sign up to turn $1 into $100. If either main event fighter lands a punch on Saturday, place your bet. Watch the fist fly this weekend. That's code DNVR to turn $1 into $100. I don't like when Eric's laughing.
I just can't stop thinking about that. Dev's vacation starts at Popeyes.
So hit that Popeyes drive-through, pull up that DraftKings app on your phone, use code DNVR, turn $1 to $100. Must be 21 or older. Colorado only, new customers only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700. That's 1-800-522-4700. One more read, guys, because that's how many reads there are in a break. You probably know by now that DNVR is a huge supporter of CBD, has us honking like geese over here. And as a consumer, you must find the product that works best for you. Green Roads hooked us up with some incredible products. We want to share our experience with you. Green Roads has over 30,000 5-star reviews. 30,000. I said that right, and it's not a typo. Use code DNVR20 for 20% off your entire purchase. Green Roads leads the industry. They're the #1 privately held CBD company in the U.S. by market share. Award-winning products. Pharmacist founded. QR codes on all Green Roads packaging, which link to independent lab results. Talk about your blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, check out Green Roads. If you guys can't tell, I haven't done this ad before.
Green Road's is awesome, though. They have, like, every type of CBD product possible. CBD gummies.
Yeah, but and it's also
CBD sleeping pills.
The difference here is that they're like clinically measured.
It's the real stuff.
Right. Like this is not a CBD gummy that I offer you in the bar that came loose out of my pocket, hot.
In like a napkin.
In a napkin. Hey, you guys want a CBD gummy? No, this is it's in professional packaging. I mean, this is like an alternative if you find yourself having difficult sleeping. You take medicinal grade CBD that has reliable effects.
And I found the code. So if you want to start feeling better, sleeping better, then you need to try their products. Use code DNVR20 for 20% off your entire purchase. Head to greenroads.com, pick out your items, enter code DNVR20 for 20% off. All right, we're back. We're ready to wrap up the show with the remaining big questions, guys, pertaining to the Denver Nuggets. Because if you'll allow me, I feel willing to just come out and say it. The biggest question about this season, guys, can the big three play well together? Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., Nikola Jokic. I think we've got our answer. I think the answer is yes. And unless any of you object, I think it's time to move on now as we approach the second half of the season. What are the remaining big questions facing these Denver Nuggets that you'd love to see answered as they ramp up for a playoff run? Wind, are there any that stick out to you right off the bat, brother?
Yeah, there's one. But to your last point, though, on the big three, tonight was only the third time ever that all of the big three, Jokic, Murray, and Porter, scored 20-plus points in the same game. So Denver's now 3-0 when that happens. My biggest question is, what position is Michael Porter going to play the most over the second half of the season? They are deep at power forward. They're deep. Paul Millsap, JaMychal Green, Zeke Naji, all very capable fours, I think. But Porter's been unbelievable at the four here lately. And Denver's defense, especially over these last two games, has been good.
Yep.
And that's your biggest worry, I think, with him at the four. Just where are you from a team defense perspective? I don't know what Michael Malone's going to do. I'm not sure. I don't know if he even knows what he's going to do. I assume Paul Millsap and JaMychal Green will be healthy coming out of this break. I've got to think, just based on how Denver's done things, based on how Michael Malone's done things in the past, those guys will be getting minutes. Does that mean Zeke Naji's out of the rotation?
Yes, it does.
Probably most likely. I would hate that because I think Zeke Naji needs to play. Does that also mean Michael Porter's playing most of his minutes at the three?
Yeah.
Maybe. So that's my biggest question right now. I think you need to play him at the 4. Maybe you don't need to start him there, but that's probably going to be your best closing lineup a lot of the times. And he needs to play there a lot during the game. That's what I think.
I'm with Wind on this one, and I think they've really stumbled into something with this starting unit. And how does that work when everyone comes back? And like Gary, at this point, is also throwing kind of a wrench in things, right? Because you kind of like the idea of Jamal playing alongside another point guard. I mean, to Wynn's point, are both Jermichael Green and Millsap backups now? Are one of those guys your backup bigs, and both Hartenstein and Najee's out of the rotation? To me, this is the big question, because this starting lineup is destroying worlds right now. But when they get everyone back, I would think they're going to try to make it work with that starting lineup from the start of the season. So,
I mean, this is where you have to remember back to the first time the Nuggets went on a real run, and I think they won 6, 7, maybe even 8 in a row. And it was with that original lineup, that original starting lineup. Like, we've hit a groove now with this new incarnation of the starting lineup, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that the big 3 has in fact arrived. Potentially, though, to the point, like, that could be because Michael Porter Jr. was forced to play the 4. But it also could just be that he is starting to feel more comfortable on the floor in general, more comfortable with his role on this team. Like, I really don't fear from bringing good players back and giving the coach more decisions to make, that he can line up players to play against the opposition and play chess that way. So I'm really excited to get everybody coming back. Like, I like having options. I just think everything has been so sweet the last 2 games that we just feel untouchable right now. But I don't think that we can necessarily count on PJ Dozier to be a plus 31 or Zeke Naji to be a plus 16. Like, Paul Millsap's a great player. Jermichael Green blew us all away at the beginning of the season, and if he can come back with that kind of production, I mean, how do you not put him?
Two words that Eric, that popped out was decisions, and also just like what's going to happen. Like, really, what happens from here? Because there is a lot of decisions to be made. Now that you see that Michael Porter Jr. plays well at the 4, do you make a decision to take him back to a different position, or is there a trade coming? Yeah. Is there something else coming? Because you see what it looks like with this group. But there's guys that you can trade that are not getting the minutes that you haven't seen in so long. You haven't seen Jermichael Green. You haven't seen Paul Millsap. And those are 2 players that could be in some type of package that they have. And they could go along with some of the young guys that just don't fit right now. We haven't seen Bobo. He didn't play today. Maybe he's a part of a package.
Right.
So there is a lot of decisions to be made. And then to everyone's point, the biggest thing to go after is, what decision does Malone do? That's the biggest question that I have going into the second half is
not what you do, not what would I do. What would Malone
do? Because now he has a lot of decisions to make. He really loves Facu. The Nuggets have played well without Facu, but we know what he brings to the table every single night. In the first half, that was a game that Facu would have been amazing in. He would have really starred in this type of game. So, that's a decision that has to be made. There's Jamal Murray off of the ball. That's a decision that has to be made. We're going into the playoff, hunt. Not only the hunt, but as what they're saying is that the Nuggets have a chance to actually win the championship and make it to the finals. So, what team or what look gets you to that point and looks the best to get you to that point? So there's a lot of decisions to be made, and Malone, you rest up. Rest up.
Doesn't this feel like we're watching a movie and this is the intermission and we're left with a cliffhanger? There's so many interesting things. The story is really starting to come together. You don't know where the second half is going to go. Man, I love NBA basketball.
The starting lineup's interesting. I'm not as gung-ho on it as you guys are. On the year, they're a plus 57 in only 131 minutes, so it looks unbelievable. Most of that plus is from 2 games, though.
Right,
it's from the Oklahoma City game and from the Chicago game.
Yep.
When the starting lineup just absolutely worked those 2 teams.
And 2 bad opponents.
The other games, they've been even or minus. I think they were minus tonight, even. So I'm not as locked into this starting lineup, I don't think.
I mean, to be clear, I like them as a regular season lineup, playing with energy, playing well right now. I think they can win a lot of games with this 5, but into the playoffs, I don't think that works, right? So I don't think this is going to be it. I mean, I know it's not going to be
Right.
it. And so my other big question, guys, is will there be a consolidation trade? You've got some expirings on this roster. Paul Millsap's one who it's crazy to say, and I'm a huge Paul Millsap respecter, but is he one of the odd men out now as you look at what that next rotation looks like? So is there a consolidation trade to make? Can they bring in a floor-raising wing? Nothing big, nothing flashy, but like a Torian Prince or something? I mean, it's just a name. But those are some questions that I think will come into play for sure in the next couple of weeks here.
And what's really scary is just like the trajectory of the Nuggets. Like, they started out not so well, and we wanted a trade, like, badly. We like, okay, this is not working. This is, like, it was a bad decision, but now it's starting to work, and we're starting to, see the vision that the front office had. And it's like, do you trade them right now when everything is going well? And I mean, everything is going well for the Nuggets right now. It's like, do we trade them?
Great comment from the Oso Blanco here, too. Don't do this to yourself, guys. There's never a consolidation trade.
What was the trade last year? 3 for 3?
Yeah, that's right. They didn't really consolidate at all, did they? Oof.
You know what my big question is moving forward is, like, how good can our big three become? Like, are we talking about a situation where we can reliably count on at least one of them to score in the 30s, one of them to score, and then the other two to score in the high 20s? Like, are we really talking about where we can have three legitimately dominant players all playing well at the same time? Like, if we can't, if that is the reality we're talking about, like, it's curtains. Like,
Yeah.
like, that's how you can go up against a team like the Brooklyn Nets. Like, I don't think that our talent is quite what theirs is.
Sure, but
all the same,
legit big three.
Yes.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I'm just so off the Bradley Beal train.
Yeah, man.
Like, let's never mention the name Bradley Beal on this show again.
Works for me, Harris.
He's banned. He
Works
is
for me.
banned from this
What?
show.
Super producer Kale,
Bradley
before we
Beal's
get out of
banned.
here, he's
Hear that?
banned. Third quarter is in Bradley Beal on the banned list. Can you pull up the remaining super chats that I missed?
Let's Supier chat it.
I just think for this team, man, I trust it. I just trust it. I trust the big three, and the Nuggets are just going to have to put the right pieces around them.
Totally.
Agreed.
I think that is going to be the right approach. And you try to be a San Antonio,
Yeah.
Agreed.
And not try to be a team that just goes for it 1 year.
Super chat from JTH. MPJ has only allowed opponents to shoot 41.6% when defending compared to Ben Simmons, who allows 41.6%.
Yeah,
Fuzzy
Mike.
data, but look, to your point, the guys look much better defensively. Yeah, Mike. And yeah, JTH, we appreciate you.
I'm scrolling.
You're good. I guess I could have stalled a little longer on that answer.
Yeah, okay. This one, this is just telling you to take another shot.
Yep, another one for Kale, who did take it. We
Kale's
obliged.
hammered.
Yeah,
Not hammered.
yeah. If you guys want,
Get some love for PJ Dozier playing with himself and being a facilitator. 8 assists tonight.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier in the show, but we're with you, Jason. We're encouraging night from PJ defensively and offensively.
There was one play where he had tunnel vision, I thought, and he got a foul out of it.
Right. Yeah, I know exactly what play you're talking
But
about.
other
out
than
of
that,
control, right.
other than that, I thought he played a really nice game. His defense, I thought, was really good, and
That gets us caught up.
Chat, you guys goddamn rule. Look at you. Look at how difficult it was for Kale to find the super chat, because there are so many chats, so many fantastic chats from you.
So that's it for us tonight. That's it for the Denver Nuggets on the first half of the season, guys. Enjoy the break. Enjoy your weekend that's coming up. We appreciate all of you who have contributed directly, indirectly to this community. You guys are the absolute best. We're having the time of our lives with you. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel on YouTube, and we will see you guys soon enough.
Let's
Nugs.
go.
don't worry, I'll take the shot.